Hi, my name's Jeff Stewart, and I want to talk to you a little bit today about you as a member of your choir. I've been singing in choirs since the age of 7, and I was really lucky. I got to sing in cathedrals around the country and abroad, and I went on to a career as an operatic tenor, in which I've sung virtually every role that I ever wanted to sing in some beautiful opera houses. I've also been lucky enough to sing a lot of the great oratorio repertoire in places as far afield as the USA, China, South Africa, and of course all over Britain and Europe. I want to talk to you about you as a member of your choir. Of course, we love choral singing. That's why people do it. But it's undeniable that the numbers in choirs are getting smaller and smaller. And there has to be a reason for that. For me, I believe that that's because people don't understand the music and don't feel fulfilled in what they're doing. They don't understand the relevance of this music to their lives. And most importantly, we don't understand the importance of joy in our singing. My mission is to get the joy back into singing for as many people as possible in my lifetime, and in so doing, help the choral tradition in this country to be maintained. I'm going to tell you a little story. When I was a boy, I used to go riding, and I loved horses. I think they're just such beautiful animals. But I used to ride and I used to hold on when we cantered and think, this is fun, this is great. And then one day, someone shouted at me from behind, for God's sake, keep him going. And something just clicked in me. I kicked my pony and suddenly I was in control and we were flying along, and it was like all the colours in the world had come on. And for me, that was one of the most exciting moments of my life. And looking back on it, I've never, ever forgotten that moment or the pony I was riding. For me, singing is the same. So many people go to their choir each week and they sing the music within this little framework of, well, yeah, this is me. I don't want anyone to know that I don't quite make the notes, or that my voice isn't that good, or that I'm not really musically that strong, or that I might sing out of tune occasionally. I don't want anyone really to know that I'm here. Does that sound familiar? For most people, that is their experience of choral singing. And of course, we like being in a community of people who want to sing, being with other people, being part of a really good sound. But for me, as a choir trainer, what I love is that moment when someone wakes up and suddenly they start to see the music in the colours that I started to see when I kicked my pony. That sounds really bad, doesn't it? But it's that moment where suddenly the lights come on. Now, I believe that what drives people to be professional artists is that they see more colours in the world. They see more things that they've got to express, and they have a need to express them. But I don't think that means other people can't learn to do that. I believe that choral singers can be taught to break down their own barriers and to find a much, much better way of singing, and therefore a much, much fuller experience of life. You may think that you enjoy singing. I was talking to someone recently who said, I don't actually feel emotional when I sing, but I enjoy the challenge of getting the music together in time. For me, that's not singing. For me, singing is pouring out your heart and your personality. The singers I love are people like Jonas Kaufmann and Simon Keenlyside, people who, as soon as they open their mouths to sing, you know who they are and what they're feeling just by the way they breathe and just by the way they let their voice go. I want to teach choirs throughout the world and throughout the country to let go, to be really expressive and to really enjoy themselves. How many times have you been to a concert where a choir is singing and thought, they all look so bored? I remember once I was conducting a concert in my very early days with the Choral Society, and my daughter came along. She was about 6 years old. She came along to the rehearsal, and I just said to the choir, okay, I want every one of you making eye contact with me and looking at me and looking as if they're alive when they sing. And my daughter came up to me afterwards and said, do you know how many of them were actually looking? How many of them were actually looking alive? And she said there were 5 of them in a choral society of 80. Now that's a young child seeing that. And part of the reason that she could see it was that she's still a young child and she hadn't got all those inhibitions that we grow up with, where we say, oh, I'm quite a little bit scared of what anyone thinks about me. Do you feel that fear when you sing? Do you feel worried that someone's going to notice that you've done something wrong and turn around and look at you and call you out on it? Do you feel the fear that someone's going to tell you that you're wrong? I think most of us do. And I'm here to help you to break through that. I want you to have a fuller experience of singing. I want you to wake up in the morning joyful that you are going to get the chance to sing. And I mean joyful. How many of us live in joy in our lives? How many of us enjoy singing? And I mean do it in joy. That there are so many facets to this. There are facets of technique, vocal technique, which is so much simpler than you think. One of my great interests is to go back to how the bel canto teachers of yesteryear used to teach people to sing. One of my old singing teachers used to say, if you look at film of the great old singers, they make it look easy. And that's because it is. If you do it the way bel canto singers used to do it, it's easy. And it's not desperately complicated. It's not rocket science. God, I've spent thousands of pounds on singing teachers in the past who know enormous amounts about how the body works and who can't teach you the basics of technique because they don't understand how simple it is. I've worked in so many choirs and with so many choir masters who don't understand how joyful singing has to be, even when you sing something that's essentially a miserable piece. The joy that's to be had by really getting out all your misery, all your emotions, and getting them out there on your voice so that you don't have to carry them around with you all day, every day for the rest of your life. Another little story. Years and years ago, I was training at the Guildhall, and they used to send us out to be soloists for choral societies. And I'd done, I don't know how many messiahs, but to me, it was the dullest piece on the planet, because I'd heard so many choral societies go, for unto us a child is born. Isn't this nice? And I really enjoy singing, and doesn't it show all over my face? That sort of thing. And then one day I had the chance to go and sing as an extra in the London Philharmonic Choir with a performance of Messiah, with Franz Welser-Möst conducting. And I went to the first rehearsal and I phoned my parents immediately after and I said, you have to come to this performance. And they said, we've seen you do loads of Messiahs. We know how it goes. We've enjoyed it very much. Why would we come to this? You're not even singing solo. And I said, this is a different piece. Franz Welser-Möst made such a difference to how the choir put it across and their involvement in it. And from that moment on, I started to see that piece completely differently. And I've conducted it a few times myself now, and every time you do it, you get people who phone up and say, oh, can we come and be in your performance of Messiah? And I say, yeah, as long as you come to every rehearsal. And they say, oh, no, we know it really well, we've done it lots of times. No, sorry, not until you are prepared to experience it as a piece of drama in the way that Haydn meant it. I believe that there is a need in church choirs and in choral societies and philharmonic choirs for people to understand the enjoyment of singing, to understand that it can completely transform your life, that every day and everything you do can be made brighter by the way you sing. So I've created a day to help that. I run a group on Facebook called They Shall Laugh and Sing. It's a quote from one of the Psalms, but to me, that's the very essence of what I do. You may also have heard of my company, Choral Holidays. Our motto has always been, they shall laugh and sing. And I believe that the two go together. There has to be a joy when we sing, which makes people want to laugh. There has to be a joy which makes people want to dance. That's going to scare a lot of people. That in itself is going to scare a lot of people. But how much better would your life be if you could wake up in the morning and think, yes, I've got life to lead. I've got so much to go on to and so much to go and do today. And I can sing as I do that. I can sing on my own at home. I can sing in my choir. I can go and even give solo performances. I can be a better singer than I am. I've lost count of the number of people that would never consider themselves soloists who have ended up doing solos for me in cathedrals and great buildings. It's possible. Anything you want to achieve with your singing is possible, and I want to bring that to you. We've created a day called I Can Feel It, and it's a day of training you in vocal technique, in techniques of being able to access your feelings better, techniques of being able to perform better. And the idea is that at the end of the day, you will come out as a fuller singer with better technique, with a better understanding of what it feels like to really sing. Just look at the choirs that you sing in. How many people look engaged? How many people look excited about their singing? This is what I want to give you. Now, I teach at the Royal College of Music. I teach at the Royal Welsh College of Music and Drama. And I've been teaching vocal technique to people for as long as I can remember. I was teaching someone last week who came into her lesson really, really tired. And she's not really my pupil. I just teach her on the side. And I said to her, what's the matter? Why is your voice feeling tired? And she said, I've just done so much singing these last couple of weeks. So she said, can I just do half an hour with you? And within a few minutes of doing gentle, easy exercises and teaching her to understand what is actually happening with her voice, why it tires, and what it needs to do not to be tired, she was singing up easily to high E flat above top C. High E flat above top C. Now, a lot of people can't even think that high. And she turned and looked at me and said, are you magic? Because she just could not get her head around the fact that from a tired, depleted state, first thing in the morning, she was now singing so high and so easily. And she said, please, can we not stop after half an hour? Can we please carry on? I was teaching another pupil only the second time I've taught him. And he was a tenor and nice voice, but not a real understanding of what he was singing. And at one point I said to him, okay, I want you to tell me why Mozart has written this like this, because this aria, he was singing Un'aura amorosa from Così fan tutte. It's a really tricky aria. And I said to him, why are you singing these words? Why has Mozart put you to go up here? Why has Mozart written these chords underneath you? And he said, you know what, I don't really know. So I got him to think about it. And it made it so much easier. And suddenly he was able to do it. And we did some exercises as well. And a few days later, he sent me a video. And he said, I'm singing from low F at the bottom of the bass stave to high F above tenor top C. And I can do it in one run. And I can do it because of the things that you have taught me in these 2 lessons. Because you make it so easy. In fact, in one of his lessons, after a particular high note, he just looked at me and said, but that's so easy. And this is the point. People make it much more difficult than it is. So I'm offering you a day to come and learn the techniques which I'm finding so successful with so many pupils. I don't mind if you have a voice like 10 pigs. I really don't. I want to help you to get the best out of it. Not only that, we're not just going to give you vocal technique lessons. We're not going to leave you with that. We're going to teach you to interpret a piece of music. We're going to teach you to find what's within a piece of music. We're going to teach you to start to feel. We're going to teach you techniques which make you able as a person to feel much more of what's going on around you, to connect with your surroundings and with the people around you. And for some people, that's going to be absolutely terrifying. But it's worth it. It's worth every minute of it. We're going to be running this course for about 6 hours on Saturday, the 9th of July. Now, normally, when I've given masterclasses in China or whether I've been teaching in this country, normally I charge quite a lot of money for that. We can't charge you what this course is worth. For myself and for the person who is running it with me, you would normally be looking at something in the region of £100 an hour, at least. This is a 6-hour course, and we're going to charge you £90 for the day, just £90 for the day. And included in that, you're going to get a slap-up lunch in one of the most historic buildings in Oxford. The course takes place at Balliol College, Oxford, on the 9th of July. We will have lunch in the Great Hall. There will be no performance. The whole day is geared towards you developing as a singer and as an individual. And if you want to be a better singer in your choir, if you want to feel more fulfilled in your singing and in your everyday life, if you want to wake up with a feeling of knowing what it feels like to be joyful, then you need to come to this day. If you're a choir master or a choir mistress and your choir is not joyful in the way they sing, then you need to send your choir members to this course. We don't put pressure on people. We don't make anyone feel stupid. We allow people to make mistakes. We create a safe place in which people can experiment. We create an atmosphere of mutual love and support between all the people on our courses. Just look at our website, look at the testimonial pages on choralholidays.com. Look at them and see how people react to our courses. We make it fun. We want to see you there. We want you to come and be the best singer you can be. So please come and join us, and we'll see you on the 9th of July. check out the website www.choralholidays.com. Thanks very much for watching.